My name is Eddie Reese. I coach at the University of Texas. And I'm a firm believer that swimming faster is fun. With this presentation, I'm going to give you some tips and some drills that are going to help you go faster. When you first start doing the butterfly stroke, you'll find that it's a strength item, and it's maybe the hardest thing to get. Usually the 10 and unders and 11 and 12s that are successful at this are the most coordinated and the strongest. Of all the 200s, of the 5 200s, the 200 butterfly is the easiest. I know not everybody's believing that right now, but that's what my swimmers tell me. It is a very simple stroke because you can only do certain things that will make it work properly. The hands need to enter shoulder width apart. Then they press out slightly, come back in under the neck. A lot of people bring them back in under the stomach and they miss the long press that gives you the distance per stroke. And that's what you've got to get. One thing you've got to watch for is this, folding the elbows up along the side. That happens in the breaststroke pull-out too sometimes. You're going to keep your arms long. I tell my swimmers that it is a sweep, not a pull. So you sweep out a little bit, then come in under the neck. If you stuck your thumbs out, they would touch. And I've got swimmers that do swim with their thumbs out. I recommend the thumbs in. Press out, press through underneath, almost touching, and you accelerate. Starts out slowly. This part of the stroke keeps you going, the speed you're going. This part vaults you over the water and at a faster rate than you're going. And the key to your recovery is what you do underwater. A younger swimmer who's not very strong will pull outside like this, and they'll get blocked in. They pull to here, their hands coming out palm first. There's no good way to get their hands back around, so they jerk it up and throw it around. If you can sweep inside, the recovery becomes natural and it takes stress off the arms to use momentum to recover as opposed to use muscle to recover. So you come through accelerating fast there and out and around. Timing for butterfly is the head drops about the same time the hands enter. And you want to look almost straight down. At that time, if you think about it, when your head goes down, your hips come up because you've kicked down. Hips are up, head and arms are down. And then you start your sweep, and your second kick occurs underneath the stomach, and you fly over the water. That's how we describe it. You want to fly over the water as far as possible. And then you want to get your hands back in. As they come out thumb down, or they come out little finger first. Keep the thumb down till they get to be even with your shoulder. Then you can't keep the thumb down comfortably. It tenses up your shoulders. So the hands flatten out and are shoulder width. The starting position for the butterfly stroke is hands about shoulder width, head looking down at the bottom, and your head could be 2 to 4 inches underwater at that time. Take the head down there by pressing the chest down. And the hands stay on the surface and sweep out, catch the water, and come back through underneath. As you land out front, you kick down, your hips come up, you come back through, and you kick down, up again. To me, the most important thing to look for in the butterfly stroke is what the hips are doing. The feet are very, very important that if they come out of the water, they come out an inch or an inch and a half. You don't want them to come out so that they thump. And most of your good butterflyers are two-beat kickers. In other words, they kick once on the entry, once on the exit. But I've seen Olympic medals won, gold medals won by a one-beat kicker. The one-beat kick usually occurs on the entry. That helps level the body. A real important part of the butterfly stroke is the underwater swimming, fly kick underwater. It doesn't matter whether you swim long course or short course, you must learn to swim with the fly kick underwater. In this presentation, we're going to show you the stroke the way I like to see it, what to look for in a good stroke. And a lot of times your swimmers need to see something like this to find out where they need to go with their stroke. And then we're going to show you drills that help enhance this stroke, whether it's head position or timing, or take it apart and do one arm at a time. We'll show you how to make the kick better, make it faster, make it stronger. And we're going to show you some errors and how to correct those errors, and what drills to use to correct specific errors. Then we're going to show you starts and turns and the breakouts that are necessary to maintain that excellent speed off the walls. Butterfly is a stroke that it'll help to look at head on, but generally you can see everything you need to see from the side. You watch the head going in the water. You watch when the head goes in, the hips have got to come up. You want to see the bathing suit come out of the water. The butterfly, the fly kick's very important also, but as in backstroke, they don't go very fast on a fly kick if they're not going to race very fast. This you can see the efficiency of the stroke underwater. Great hips. Nice kick out, not too hard, not quite fast enough to suit me, but I don't always get my way. Fly kick's very important, particularly in a 25-yard pool. We do a lot of repeats where the first 25 is underwater fly kick, or the last 25, whether it's a 50 or 100 or a 150. And we put them underwater just to teach them to control their breath. For younger age groups, you can have them come up halfway off the wall. The fly kick is very important. And for some people, it's a little more difficult on the stomach than on the back. Six seconds vertical fly kick. Hands on your shoulders. Because the vertical fly kick is where you get the frequency or speed of kick. From the side you can see it better. See, there's not a whole lot of knee bend. This is a drill we use to strengthen the abdominals and the quadriceps. Kick 5 to 8 off the wall, streamlined position. Pull the hands to the sides and do the fly kick. The hands at the sides allow for easier body undulation. It's much better for beginners, a great way to start the kick. It's always more difficult when you lock your hands over your head and streamline it. That is where they need to get eventually. When we kick with a board fly kick, sometimes we kick easier than others. But when we kick 25s and 50s, we expect it to be very, very fast, very, very high kick rate. You can see the hips where they move. You can see how fast the feet are moving. And I believe this is a very important aid in improving the fly kick. If I were to try to get Rainer to do that a little bit better, I wouldn't let him bend his knees quite as much. Try to make a shorter kick. He wouldn't feel his feet on the water as much. But that means he's more streamlined and kicking more in the right place. Usually if they feel their feet on the water, they're kicking too big. This is one of our kick drills. Butterfly kick drill is 5 kicks and 2 strokes. You can breathe on both strokes or only one stroke. It's excellent for more of an advanced swimmer on this fly kick because it makes you kick hard underwater holding your breath, and it has a little bit of arm use in it. In fact, I invented this, at least in my own mind I invented it, so that my swimmers would quit talking on kickboards. That is a universal situation. I'm not sure it's a problem, but it was one of the reasons we came up with a kick drill for butterfly. One-arm butterfly drill, 3 to 5 kicks off the wall, breathing every 2 strokes. This helps control the breathing, doesn't make breathing real important. And the main reason we do this drill is to get the head position on the entry, which is looking straight down at the bottom, which causes the bathing suit to come out of the water. And that's what you want. You want the hips to come out of the water and keep the feet underwater. The next drill is just a butterfly stroke drill. He'll have to shorten his kicks off the wall here. He's going to take 2 strokes off the wall to work on his breakout. First one down, next one up, then 2 left, 2 right, and then swim into the wall, no matter how many it is. For younger swimmers, you can keep the pattern of 2 off the wall, 2 left, 2 right, 2 strokes, and they'll get more cycles in. Just slows it down, lets you get your hips up and your head down, and then to try to add that to 2 strokes. This drill is a little more advanced. Your beginning butterflyers shouldn't do it. You do 2 kicks with your hands out front, pull them back to your hips and stop them as you lift to breathe, and then 2 kicks back there. Then you recover when your hips are in the right position. You notice that his hands enter, his hips come out. As they come over the water, his hips go down. So it's purely a timing drill, and I think it's fairly advanced. For beginners, or for someone that is stopping their stroke at their legs, the triple kick butterfly drill is important. Then you force them to stop their hands out front. So they do 2 kicks out front. One is their hands come through and recover. That one is at the normal time. And then you stop them out front again. Give them time to get the body back into position to make a good stroke. This is more of a beginner butterfly drill for someone that is having specific problems. This is another fly kick drill where you kick on the right side going over. This enables somebody who is a beginner at the fly kick to keep their feet underwater and feel pressure the whole time. It also teaches and enables them to undulate their body more. Right side over, left side back. It means they end up facing the same way. It's a third problem a lot of butterfliers get, and it's their entry being too wide. Usually butterfliers, when they're young or they get tired, their hands are a little bit wide. This front view, you can really see how wide his entry is. One thing you can help to get them to be aware of this is that have them stand up on the edge of the pool and just dive in with their hands that wide. They'll really slow down, really stop, even though they don't feel that in the water, because they're going a lot slower. To correct the wide entry, you might have to have them hit their hands together on the entry. And the reason you don't want them to be that narrow is because it takes too long to get out and into the stroke. It'll mess up their timing and will hurt their speed. Another problem in butterfly is bringing the hands too high. Shows a great deal of flexibility, but they travel further. It takes longer for them to get back into the water out front. And you don't want to be spending time on recovery. You have to spend X amount of time. You don't want to spend X plus. One of the ways to correct that, keep the thumbs down low to the water. The hands always come out when you push them all the way back. They come out differently than the freestyles. You don't want the elbow lift on the fly recovery. You want the momentum from the in sweep that comes under your chest and stomach. And then as the hands move out, the momentum carries them around out front to where you need them to enter. On this stroke, you can see that he is turning his hands towards the front too soon. A lot of younger swimmers will pull their hands out of the water, little finger up, turn their thumb up, and then try to bring their hands forward. For younger swimmers, it's usually a function of not being strong enough to get the in sweep under their stomach. And that just takes time and strength to get that. What you can do is break the stroke up into parts and just do the last part of the stroke where they push and recover and lift their head and sweep their hands around. Want the little finger to exit first and the thumbs to be aimed down towards the water till the hands are even with the shoulder, and then they flatten out for entry. This mistake is common in younger swimmers. They just pull their hands out too quickly. what you would like to do is get them to pull all the way back so that their thumbs touch their thigh before they bring their hands out of the water. This shot, you can see him coming up too high to breathe. Usually somebody who does this had a bad experience breathing one time on Butterfly and picked up a mouthful of water. To get them to fix that, the one-arm drill does a nice job because it keeps them flatter and keeps them propelling themselves forward and not up. Try to get them to just clear the water with their chin, only about an inch. So if they can focus their eyes at the end of the pool, not on the top of the block, but on the edge of the pool where the water meets the gutter, that can help them with that. This shows you a light breather and how much harder it is to do that. That's where you go to your triple kick butterfly. Because you haven't got as much time to do that. It's a real common mistake. As the hands come out of the water, he pulls the hips forward too much, and it causes a real low position to the back half of the body. This is what you want it to look like. You want to push the hips up by putting the head down and on the hand entry, and then just let them relax as your hands come through. Because gravity and the body position will take them down. When you lift your head, the hips are at the lowest point. So you don't want them too low. And his are nice and relaxed, and they're in line with the direction that he is going. When he was pulling his hips to his hand, they were below that line, causing his hips and his feet to drag. The butterfly turn, you want to come straight into the wall, hit the wall with both hands, and fall straight back, looking up at the ceiling. Rainer turns to the left, so he leads with his left elbow, and that opens up his body. So when he looks straight up at the ceiling, he falls back in with the thinnest part of his body going through the water. This makes for a fast, clean turn. Ideally, you do not want to breathe on the first stroke after the breakout. It's common to do it, but it is not fastest to do it. And it's something you can train for physically and mentally, just by working on it in practice, whether it's fly kicking out freestyle and going 3 strokes off the wall freestyle without a breath, or coming out backstroke, kicking 2 extra kicks. A lot of ways to do it, and you practice that like you practice strokes, like you practice racing. Work on these turns at different distances for the wall, so you learn how to read how far out you are on the turn and where you're going to hit it. He hit it a little bit long then, but long by a foot or a foot and a half is all right. Long by 2 feet or more is something you should have corrected 4 strokes out. And that'll kill your momentum, particularly the last turn of 100 or last 2 or 3 turns of a 200. All 4 starts have one similarity in that to maintain your speed for the longest period of time that you can do that, you must try to put your hands, shoulders, hips, and feet through the same hole in the water. That allows you to keep the momentum for a longer period of time. On the butterfly start, you can actually be a little bit deeper if you're a real good fly kicker, or you're going to use the fly kick because you can always kick to the surface, and the depth is really relative to the depth of the pool. If you're in a 5-foot deep pool, you don't want to be down near the bottom because that hurts your fly kick. So you have to make your start shallower. You want to take this dive off the block as straight out as possible. Every once in a while you see a swimmer take it up and then in. It's real hard to transfer that momentum from a steep angle entry to a horizontal speed. So you want to take your start almost straight out, but still enough of an elevation so you can get your hips and feet in the same hole. Your head and shoulders go in. The breakout for butterfly, take your kicks, get to 8 to 15 meters, wherever you're comfortable with, and then don't breathe first stroke off the kick out. That's when you're going the fastest. You want to maintain that momentum as long as you can do it. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I know that the information will help you coaches make your swimmers faster and help you swimmers go faster.